I remain indebted for all time to Fort Hare.
Going to Fort Hare was really, in a way, a very carefree time, but also a very serious time.
I still believe that I'm part and parcel of this university.
The University of Fort Hare is the university of my dream.
I always had the impression and the feeling that if I came to Fort Hare, I would be able to first and foremost meet people from all over Africa, because Fort Hare has that history of being a truly continental university.
The history of Fort Hare, that's what you have asked me to talk about. But can you separate the history of South Africa from what took place around Fort Hare? But Fort Hare itself has a wonderful history.
Mandela, Nelson, Mugabe, Robert, Tambo, Oliver, Sobukwe, Robert, Hani, Chris Tembisile, Buthelezi, Mangosuthu, Khama, Sirete, Mbeki, Gavin.
I got to Fort Hare as a student in 1932. Those days we did matric at Fort Hare. The Fort Hare came about as an idea. Would you call them idealists? Or would you call them men of vision? Or would you call them dreamers?
During those days, the government took no interest whatsoever in African education. The buildings, school buildings, the equipment, the teachers were all the responsibility of missionaries. And that is how I got my education from grade 1 right up to the first 2 years of university at Fort Hare. I didn't have to choose to go to Fort Hare because it was the only educational institution which offered degrees for Africans in this country. We could not be admitted in any other university in the country, so there was no choice.
Not in any way intending to suggest that Fort Hare was a second choice or a last resort or anything like that. There was, on the other hand, very little available to us by way of university education. Natal University was right on our doorstep, but as Indians, we weren't admitted unless we chose to go to those special classes established for non-Europeans in the backyards of Sastry College and so on. And some of us certainly didn't want to do that, not if we could help it. And we'd heard a great deal about Fort Hare, and I was most excited about coming to Fort Hare.
Anyone who wanted to pursue his or her secondary education had to go down south. And that's why many of us during those days who had sponsorship or had parental support went to South Africa, to places like Adams College, Marion Hill, many others in South Africa. Tiger Clovis one, Lovedale another.
There was a gentleman from Botswana who came to Fort Hare after the community had sold cattle in order to send him to Fort Hare. And he became one of the illustrious people of his society. And so communities really did play a great role. There was also the encouragement. I remember whenever you went off, when you came back on holiday, you went through the community to go and greet every auntie and every grandma to see how you are doing and to make sure that you don't get your head in the clouds and be proud.
If I didn't have a bursary,
I wouldn't have been able to go to university. My father was not all that rich to be able to afford me going to university. So, but he contributed towards it, but the bursary helped a lot too. And the bursary came from, of course, the government of what was then Natal, but also, of course, from the communities who contributed towards the education fund, education bursary. So it was a community sort of support.
I was not happy with the students that Fort Hare was producing. These students used to major in English or major in ethics or something like that. And as we said in later years, when I became a senior student involved in student politics, we used to say Fort Hare had been turning out black Englishmen because those English was the thing. And we started revolutionizing, as it were, Fort Hare from inside.
Fort Hare was a very politically active place, so if you had come from a background where it wasn't that way, you really got steeped into the politics and high politics, people reading all kinds of books and so on.
A lot of discussion, a lot of reading. We had Gandhi mainly as a figure, a revolutionary figure, whose ideas we could adopt, and whose actions we also could follow, and so politically, that was the thinking for some of us who were political, and not every student was necessarily political.
Fort Hare really was a very, very special place in the sense that I don't think that anyone could stay there and be the same after staying there, especially as far as being sensitized to the problems that face black people and the oppression of black people generally.
What you find in all those who had gone through Fort Hare, commitment to principle, commitment to, the revolution. In retrospect now, when colonialism has been defeated, apartheid has been defeated, we'll look back and say, this is what we fought for. True, we are not together with those who died in the struggle, but those of us who have remained to see it, we feel that we suffered for this real, I don't know what to call it, but you couldn't get it any other way without. It's not a gift. It's an objective that you had to fight for and sacrifice for. So we have that background. It makes us see things the same way.
Fort Hare is great, my dear friend. Fort Hare is great.